Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Conversations. And on, I'd like to invite Sherry. Sherry, are you online? Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So, Sherry, what did you write? If you read out loud what you wrote to me, then we're all on the same page.
Okay. What I actually wrote was that my eldest son died 18 years ago of AIDS. Now I feel I am losing my daughter to mental health issues and am unable to reach her. My heart aches so badly that I am afraid I am making myself sick, but can't seem to make it go away no matter how often I do the work. I wake up thinking about her. What if I never see her again? I can't seem to enjoy anything else until I know she is all right. The waiting is always in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Wow, honey. Wow, that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. It's so your oldest son died 16 years ago with AIDS.
Yes.
So your oldest son died. Is it true?
Yes.
Can you really know that it's true that he died? And all of you listening to this out there, this isn't just shooting from the hip. I'm in fact inviting you to consider, can you absolutely know, can you really know that he died? Or in your case, sweetheart, your oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a yes or no. All of you out there, I'm going to remind you that the first two questions, is it true? Can I absolutely know that it's true? The answer, you just wait. You meditate on that question until you're shown something that maybe you didn't expect. So your son died. Can you absolutely know that it's true?
No.
So you feel it? I mean,
Yeah.
just give that no inside of you space. Now, a lot of you out there may be saying, that's ridiculous. What are you talking about? But I always trust the one I'm with. If you say no, then that's where you're at. And what you have discovered inside of you as you sat in that question, that's yours. And the rest of the world may not agree, but when we go inside of us, we get what we came for if we get still.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with people all the time where the answer to the first two questions is yes. It's always yes. And that's okay. This is personal work. So as we meditate on a question, we never know what we're going to find. And then if in that no, if you're finding a no there, don't just shift quickly to the third question or the second question. It's just give your no space, especially someone that has suffered like you have, Sherry. We could use a little space.
Yes.
We could use a lot of space. Now, notice what happens when you think that thought. Notice the image that comes to mind, the image of past and future. And that's what's happening right now for you. You're experiencing sadness. I'm assuming sadness, bereavement, because you're witnessing movies in your head of your son, of your daughter. So if I'm meditating on that third question, how do I react when I think the thought, my son died 16 years ago? My mind easily goes to my daughter, and I see her dying just like my son.
Oh.
You see it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Sherry, is that an image or your daughter? Is that real or false, that image? Is that a real live person or an image?
It's an image.
It's an image. That is not your daughter.
No, it's not.
And that is not your son. You see that image of him dying of AIDS? Is that an image? Is it real or false?
It's just a body.
It's an image.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a real body.
Oh.
Not even that. Pure imagination. And as you witness that, you think that that's your son. You think that that's your daughter. Now close your eyes, sweetheart. And as you experience this thought, my son died 16 years ago, and you see those images, notice as you witness those images, the emotions that happen as you sit in that dream. So real. Notice what happens.
Yes.
And what you experience emotionally as you believe the thought. My oldest son died 16 years ago. Now you may be seeing images of you alone. I'll never see him again, and you see you alone. So I think the emotions are very clear to you and to us.
Yes.
Now with your eyes closed, continue to be there. Now, who would you be just in this moment without the thought, my oldest son died at 16 years ago? And just notice where you're sitting, notice your breath. And notice witnessing those images without believing the real. Just notice those images of your son and daughter, of you. See them for what they are. It's as though they can no longer trick you. You're no longer under the power of imagination.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
It's like maturing, growing up, knowing the difference between what is real and what is not. And
Wow.
notice, so notice where you're sitting and notice your finger moving the tears from your eye, fixing your glasses. The real.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
In reality, we're always okay. There's no loneliness in it. We're present. We're not fooled.
Oh.
We're free.
Mm.
You see the wall and the ceiling, and you feel support of the chair that's holding you.
Yes.
So that's like walking out of the movie and noticing, oh, the sun is shining. Or I walked in when it was day and now the stars are out.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. So my oldest son died 16 years ago. Turn it around. I
died 16 years ago.
Yes, what does that turnaround mean to you? I died 16 years ago.
Oh. That part of me died, felt
Yes.
like.
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
The joy, the clarity,
Mm-hmm.
your life as you knew it.
It's true.
Yeah. And this may sound strange, but in some way, the love of our son dies. Because we see those images of him dying of AIDS, and we're horrified as opposed to connected. Why can't we see people we love without fear of who and what they are and what state? It's like, your pain frightens me. But who would I be without that story, connected? And you can see things in his condition, like AIDS. You can see things about him as you sit still, witnessing. Who would you be without the thought, my son died 16 years ago with AIDS? You can witness what you saw then fearlessly. You can hear things he was saying to you. You were too frightened, or we'll say frightened, to hear. And you can see all those acts of kindness you extended. You can be with him. Death cannot take my child from me.
It's true.
Nothing can keep me from my child. Not imagination. It's just imagination.
Huh. Oh.
I think, if, when you believe the thought, without the thought, this may sound a little crazy, but it happened in your life. Without the thought, my son died of AIDS. He could be in the next room.
Yes. I feel that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
That's connected.
Mm-hmm.
That's connection without the grief. An inquiry takes care of the grief end of it.
Okay.
And we're left connected.
Okay.
So my eldest son died 16 years ago of AIDS. Turned around, my son didn't.
My son didn't die 16 years ago of AIDS.
So what does that turnaround mean to you?
He's here in my heart. He's here in my memory. It feels like I see him in many, I see him when I see the world.
Yeah.
Like I see it for him.
Yeah. That's how every parent sees their children. They're at work, the children are at school, and they see them the same way.
Right. It's true.
It's pure imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Not right or wrong. It just is. Freedom is it's a beautiful thing, and it's our birthright. It's everyone's birthright to understand that we all have the capacity to understand what is real and what is not.
Mm-hmm.
And we do. It's just that what we're believing, those images are so powerful that we can't see the hand in front of us. In other words, the gift in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the gift that we are. Even this. So you say, sweetheart, that you wake up thinking about your daughter.
Yes.
So get very still. Is that true? Can you absolutely know that it's true, that that's how you wake up? That you're not thinking things prior to that?
No, I don't know it's true. It seems that that's the first thought I notice.
Yes. It's the one that grabs your attention.
Yes.
Now, you wake up thinking about her. Now, is that her you woke up thinking about? Or is that imagination?
It's my fear. It's imagination.
It's an image.
Movie. Yeah.
It's an image. And then you have it's like you have a picture, and then you have a story you put on the picture. Mm-hmm. So that's imagination, and then you believe a story onto that. So you wake up thinking about your daughter. Is that true? Can you absolutely know that it's true, that that's how you wake up?
No.
And how do you react when you believe that thought? From the bedroom, like you're in bed, you have the thought, that's my daughter. You're thinking about her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see? What images do you see in that moment, in that situation?
I see her alone and in trouble.
Yeah. Now, is that your daughter alone in trouble?
It's what I tell myself.
It's what you believe onto that image.
Mm-hmm.
You make the image real with your soundtrack, your mental soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you see her in trouble and alone. And as you witness that, first thing in the morning, as you witness that, what happens to your life in that moment?
It's pretty heavy. It feels heavy on my heart. I disconnect. I don't connect. It takes me a while. I do connect finally, but I have to sit still for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And to get into the now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And who would you be without the thought you notice you are in the now?
Oh, I feel really good.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
Yeah. But without the thought, you are in the now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm believing these thoughts about an image, not my daughter.
Yes.
I'm not even connected with my daughter. I'm too busy believing on images.
That feels really true.
Well, it's what's going on. It's what's really going on.
Okay.
And we wonder why we're so confused and lost and suffering. That's the cause of all suffering. Mm-hmm. We believe our thoughts. In other words, we believe what we're believing about an image that's in our head, and we disconnect from life as it really is. So I wake up thinking about my daughter, turn it around. What is the opposite of I wake up thinking about my daughter?
I don't wake up thinking about my daughter.
So give me an example.
So I wake up telling myself a story. Or I wake up and then I start telling myself a story.
Yeah. And are you doing that, or is it just a happening?
It just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
You're not doing it.
Okay.
And it is completely harmless until you believe what you're thinking about the image.
Oh, okay. So I just say goodbye, thought.
Well, what I do is I stay with it and I notice.
Okay.
I meditate on that image as I question what I'm believing about that image.
Okay.
I just stay with it until I meet everything with unconditional love. My work's not done. I can't tell it goodbye because it could come back.
It does.
So once I understand it, it comes back and there's no negative power to it. There's just connection. Just connection. Mm-hmm. I have an image of my daughter in this moment. Now I can see my son. Now I can see my other son. Here we are. Mm-hmm. But I have questioned what on a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, what I believed about my children and the world, dead or alive. And so now when the images come, it's amazing. I see an image of my mother dying. I see me there the way I really experience it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that's going to move me from that image.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mother. It's the only mother I've ever known, the mother of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And because I can't believe anything negative about it any longer, I'm connected. Don't have to run.
Mm-hmm.
Just be with. Present. In. Fearless. Okay, so let's see if I've made any other notes here. So look at that image of your daughter alone and not okay. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now describe it. What is the situation you imagine?
I see her, actually, I see her gambling.
Okay.
And alone and desperate and
Okay. So is she playing cards? Is
she's playing on a machine.
Okay. So she's now drop your story and look at her. Look at that image. Without your story, what do you see? Everyone that plays one of those machines is alone.
That's true.
I mean, there's only one person pulling that handle. It's very rare that two people pull it.
Right, right.
And look at her. Is she really desperate? Look at her.
No, she's really okay right then.
Well, isn't that what matters? I mean, because that's where you are.
She's taking care of herself in whatever way.
She's doing what she does.
Right.
That's her path.
Yes.
And, I look at my daughter and what is she addicted to? And it turns around so quickly to what am I addicted to?
Yes.
And with you, as with many mothers, you're addicted to seeing your children in trouble in your mind's eye and believing it. The ultimate addiction is the mind believing itself. Its identity depends on it. I am the mother who has lost a child. I am the mother who's about to lose another child. I am the mother with a frightened young daughter. Does she look frightened to you as you look at that?
No.
No.
I'm the one that's frightened.
Exactly. So you superimpose that onto her, on those images.
Yeah.
I am what I believe you to be in the moment I believe you to be that.
Yes.
So we can see the engine running that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and I love this one. You said, I can't seem to enjoy anything else until I know that she's all right. Okay, so notice a time recently when you were enjoying something.
Yeah, that's just not true. I thought about it and I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
And it's so beautiful to notice that, because when the ego believes, I can't seem to enjoy anything else until I know that she's all right, it it blots out those times in our life that it overrides everything. We believe it and we think it's forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we're happy all day long, and then it hits, that is obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, because we're dealing with mind that is so powerful, it would create a whole world.
Yes. Sometimes it feels as though when I'm not thinking of that I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, like you're not a responsible parent.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
I'm not worrying.
Yeah, if responsible parents have to suffer.
Right.
But in my world, until the suffering ended, I couldn't see myself as a responsible parent because I was sitting in your chair, the one you just pointed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it is my responsibility to be a happy, connected human being, and that's the best example for my children.
Mm-hmm.
When I found that, they shifted. And I don't know if that's how it works, but I can tell you in my experience, that's how it worked. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
And I would do a whole Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on her gambling in that moment. And I would do an entire Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on the moment that you wake up and your son or daughter is in your head. And make friends with those. Make friends with the ego. Eventually, it comes to trust, and it starts to let go, and it just really all turns out to be one big laugh.
Okay.
And we do that much better than suffering. It's effortless. Suffering it's major efforting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Sherry.